So last weekend, I was helping my older brother set up his new apartment. He just moved into a new place, got a fresh start, and the first thing he said to me was, "Bro, I need a TV. What should I buy?" Simple question, right? I pulled out my phone, opened up Amazon, typed in 65-inch TV, and I kid you not, within 30 seconds, I was completely overwhelmed. There were models with slightly different names selling at completely different prices. A Samsung selling for $1,400 on Best Buy, and what looked like the exact same TV on Amazon for $1,100. A Hisense I remembered seeing for $1,200 back in December, now sitting at $799. I told my brother, "Give me a few days." And what I found after 3 days of deep research, manufacturer calls, checking industry reports, and talking to people who actually work in retail and electronics distribution genuinely surprised me. TV prices have dropped again. We're talking $200, $300, even $500 drops on some flagship models. But here's the thing nobody's really talking about. This window is closing, and if you wait too long, the same TV you're looking at today could cost you significantly more by summer. So, in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what's happening, which TVs drop the most, which ones are worth buying right now, and whether you should pull the trigger today or wait it out. And before I get into it, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I make these videos to cut through the noise and give you real, straightforward information so you can make smarter buying decisions. If you find this helpful, drop a like. It genuinely helps this video reach more people who need it. And comment below. I want to know, what TV are you currently using and what's making you consider upgrading? I read every single comment and I reply to as many as I can. Also, all the current prices, links, and comparisons I mentioned in this video are down in the description. I update those regularly, so you're always getting accurate numbers. And if this video saves you money today, consider hitting the super thanks button below. It goes a long way in helping me keep making content like this. All right, let's get into it.
What's actually happening in the market right now? Here's the situation as it stands in early 2026. Every January, the Consumer Electronics Show happens in Las Vegas. Every major TV manufacturer, Samsung, LG, Sony, TCL, Hisense, they all show up with their new lineup for the year. New models, new features, new price tags. And what happens right after that? Retailers are stuck with warehouses full of last year's inventory. They ordered those TVs 6, 8, 10 months ago. They have to move them before the new models start arriving. And that creates a price drop window that doesn't last forever. I was talking to my friend Dev last week. Dev works in supply chain for a mid-sized electronics retailer. He's been in the industry for about 8 years. He told me, "Dude, our warehouse is absolutely packed right now. We've got inventory we need to clear before spring shipments start coming in. The pressure from corporate to move units is real." That's your opportunity. Right now, in early 2026, we are sitting in that exact window, and the drops I've been tracking are significant. Not promotional tricks where they raise the price first and then show you a fake discount. I'm talking about actual measurable price reductions on TVs that were selling for hundreds more just 2 or 3 months ago. But, and this is the part that makes timing critical, there's something happening on the manufacturing side that most people aren't paying attention to yet. The cost pressure nobody's talking about. While I was doing this research, I came across something in an industry supply chain report that stopped me cold. The memory chips inside smart TVs, the DRAM and NAND flash storage that runs your apps, remembers your settings, powers your smart TV interface, those chips have gotten significantly more expensive over the past year. We're talking costs that are more than double compared to 2 years ago. Why? Because the same chips that go inside your TV are also being used in massive quantities for AI infrastructure. Every major tech company building AI systems is competing for the same supply of memory chips. When multiple industries are all fighting over the same components, prices go up. Basic economics. Here's what that means for you, practically. The TVs sitting in warehouses right now, the ones being discounted, were manufactured 6 to 8 months ago when component costs were lower. The TVs being built right now for summer and fall delivery, they're being assembled with more expensive parts, and eventually that cost difference gets passed to the consumer. I actually called Sony's customer support line and worked my way up until I got someone in their sales division. I asked them directly, "Are we going to see price increases this summer?" They gave me the standard corporate non-answer, but the person I spoke to said, "If you've been considering a purchase, I wouldn't wait." That said everything I needed to hear. The model number trick that's costing people money. Let me tell you about something that confused me for years and probably confuses you too. I was comparing two Samsung TVs last week, one on Best Buy, one on Amazon. They looked identical in the listing photos, same screen size, same resolution, same smart TV platform. But the model numbers were slightly different, like one letter changed, and the prices were $250 apart. I texted my buddy Arian. Arian used to work in electronics retail for 6 years before switching to tech sales. I said, "Bro, what's going on here? Are these the same TV?" He sent back a voice note laughing. He said, "Welcome to the retailer exclusivity game. Manufacturers do this on purpose. They make slight variations, different remote, different stand, maybe one fewer HDMI port, specifically so retailers can't directly price match each other. It's been going on for decades." That blew my mind, and it changed how I researched TVs completely. I stopped comparing model numbers and started comparing actual specifications. Panel type. Is it OLED, QLED, or Mini LED? Peak brightness in nits, local dimming zones, refresh rate, HDR support. Is it Dolby Vision, HDR10+, or both? Input lag for gaming. Once I started comparing specs instead of model numbers, everything clicked. I found that an exclusive Best Buy model was spec for spec identical to an Amazon model. Same panel, same processor, same picture quality, just with a cosmetically different stand. The Best Buy version was $180 more expensive. If you're shopping for a TV right now, this is the most important thing I can tell you. Ignore the model number. Compare the specs.
The TVs that drop the most and what I'd buy. Okay, after a week of research, here are the models that have seen the biggest real-world price drops and what I'd actually recommend depending on your budget and use case. I'm focusing on 65-inch models because that's the sweet spot for most living rooms, but I'll mention where the same applies to other sizes. Samsung S95F OLED, the premium pick. This was the flagship OLED from Samsung last year. In October, it was sitting at $2,800. Right now, I'm seeing it at $1,900 in multiple retailers. That's nearly a $900 drop on a television that is genuinely one of the best screens you can buy. My friend Ashley bought this one last month. She works in graphic design, so she's particular about color accuracy and contrast. She told me, "I wasn't sure if I could justify it, but when I watched my first 4K Dolby Vision movie on it, I just sat there with my mouth open. I don't regret it for a single second." If you want the best picture quality money can buy right now and you have the budget, this is it. OLED contrast is unmatched. Every pixel is its own light source, so blacks are truly black and colors are insanely vivid. For movies, shows, and anything cinematic, this is the one. LG C5 OLED, the sweet spot for most people. If the Samsung feels like too much, the LG C5 OLED is the TV I keep recommending to almost everyone right now. It was $2,200 in November. It's now around $1,700 to $1,800, depending on where you look. My roommate Jake is a big gamer, PlayStation and PC both. He picked up the C5 2 weeks ago. He told me the response time is insane. I was skeptical about OLED for gaming because of burn-in concerns, but LG has really addressed that. The picture in games looks better than anything I've ever played on. The C5 supports 4K at 120 Hz for VRR for gaming, Dolby Vision, and has one of the best smart TV interfaces on the market. It's a legitimately all-around TV. Great for movies, great for sports, great for gaming. This is probably the one I'd buy if I were spending today. Sony X95L Mini LED, the bright room champion.
Sony doesn't discount as aggressively as some other brands, but I'm seeing the X95L down from $2,200 to about $1,600 right now. If you have a living room with a lot of natural light, big windows, afternoon sun, the kind of room where OLED sometimes looks washed out, this is your answer. Sony's Mini LED implementation is excellent. The local dimming is precise, peak brightness is outstanding, and Sony's image processing is genuinely industry-leading. If you're watching sports in a bright room, this might actually beat an OLED for your specific use case. TCL QM8, the Value King. Now let's talk about people who don't want to spend $1,500 or more on a TV, because I completely get it. The TCL QM8 was $1,700 in December. It's now $1,100. That is a $600 real-world price drop on a mini LED TV that punches massively above its weight class. My cousin Marcus, he's 28, just bought his first house, careful with money. He watched TV prices for 2 full months before buying. He got the QM8 last week. He texted me a photo of his living room setup and said, "Bro, this thing is insanely bright. My whole family came over to watch a game and everyone was commenting on the picture quality. For $1,100, I feel like I robbed someone." The QM8 is genuinely impressive. The brightness levels compete with TVs costing twice as much. If you have a bright living room and you want great picture quality without OLED pricing, this is your move right now. Hisense U8N, the best deal in the market right now. And then there's this one, the one I keep coming back to. The Hisense U8N was $1,400 in November. It's now $850 to $900 depending on the retailer. That is a $500 to $550 drop in roughly 3 months. Hisense used to be the brand you bought when you couldn't afford anything else. That reputation is completely outdated. Professional review sites that actually measure TVs with calibrated equipment, measuring brightness and nits, testing input lag, checking uniformity, they consistently rate the U8N as performing at a level you'd expect from TVs costing $1,400 or more. For someone who watches a mix of sports, movies, and everyday content, this is the sweet spot. Incredible value, excellent picture, and at $900, even if you get it and something feels off, you're not losing $2,000 to find out. I'm seriously considering this one for my own room right now.
After all this research, here's the exact process I follow now when I'm shopping for a TV, step by step. Step 1, I decide my budget and shortlist 3 to 4 models within that range based on my use case. Gaming, movies, sports, bright room, dark room, these all affect which panel type makes the most sense. Step 2, I go to a site called R Ratings. These people test TVs with actual calibrated professional equipment. They don't just look at a TV and give vibes-based opinions. They measure peak brightness, check local dimming performance, test input lag, measure viewing angles with actual instruments. I read their reviews like I'm studying for an exam. Step 3, I open 4 browser tabs simultaneously: Amazon, Best Buy, Costco, and the manufacturer's own website. I compare prices for the exact same model specification across all 4. Sometimes the manufacturer runs a promotion that retailers haven't advertised. Sometimes Costco bundles a free extended warranty that Best Buy charges $150 for separately. Step 4, I check return policies before I buy. This is non-negotiable. Best Buy gives you 15 days. Amazon gives 30 days for most electronics. Costco is famously lenient. I've heard of people returning TVs months after purchase. If I'm spending $1,000 or more on something, I need to know I can return it if there are dead pixels, uniformity issues, or if it just doesn't look right in my specific room with my specific lighting. Step 5, I check warranty terms carefully. Most TVs come with a 1-year manufacturer warranty. If a retailer is pushing an extended warranty hard, I read the fine print before agreeing. Extended warranties often specifically exclude the exact issues you'd want covered, like OLED burn-in or panel defects. Read what's actually covered, not just the marketing description. Step 6, if I'm going to a physical store, I write down my questions before I walk in. Is this model exclusive to your store? How is it different from the version sold on Amazon? I ask directly, politely. Most salespeople will tell you honestly. If they don't know, I look it up on my phone right there in the store. My friend Sarah called me 2 days ago. She said, "Should I wait for a Memorial Day sale or maybe a mid-year sale? What if prices drop more?" Here's what I told her. Nobody can predict the future with certainty, but here's what I know right now based on everything I've researched. The discounts happening today are real. They're not manufactured. They're driven by genuine inventory pressure. Retailers need to move last year's stock before new models arrive. At the same time, the cost pressures building on the manufacturing side are also real. The component costs going into TVs being built right now are higher than the costs that went into the TVs sitting in warehouses today. That cost difference will eventually show up in retail prices. Could there be more deals in summer? Maybe. Could Memorial Day bring another round of discounts? Possibly. But those discounts will be on new inventory built with higher component costs, so even with a promotional discount, the baseline might be higher. The TVs available right now were built when costs were lower. The discounts right now are driven by real inventory pressure. That combination, lower base cost plus active discounting, is a window that won't stay open indefinitely. I told Sarah, if you need a TV, this is a good time to buy. If you're just hoping prices fall another 20%, you might be waiting forever and end up paying more in July for the same or worse specs. She bought the TCL QM8 for $1,100. 2 months ago, it was $1,700. She called me after setting it up and said, "I'm so glad I didn't wait." So, after all of this, the research, the calls, the spec comparisons, the conversations with people in the industry, here's my personal decision. I'm buying the Hisense U8N at $900. My use case, I watch a lot of sports, some movies on weekends, and I game occasionally. My room gets decent natural light in the afternoon. I don't need the absolute best TV on the market. I need a massive upgrade from what I have, something that's going to last me years and something I can buy without feeling like I overpaid. The U8N ticks every box. The brightness handles my room's lighting, the sports picture is excellent, professional reviewers consistently rank it above its price class, and at $900, if something goes wrong or I change my mind, it's not a catastrophic loss. I'm buying it from Costco because their return policy gives me real peace of mind, and they include warranty coverage that other retailers charge extra for. I'm buying it this week, not next month, not after Memorial Day, because the price is right, the timing is right, and everything I've learned tells me that waiting is more likely to cost me money than save it. Here's what I've taken away from this whole deep dive. Shopping for tech in 2026 is complicated. There are thousands of options. Retailer-exclusive model variants designed to prevent price comparison, marketing specs that sound impressive but mean nothing, and sales tactics designed to create artificial urgency. But the tools we have are also better than ever. We have professional review sites with actual measured data. We have price tracking tools. We have communities of people sharing real-world experiences. We have the ability to compare prices across every retailer simultaneously in seconds. The complexity cuts both ways. It can overwhelm you, or it can work for you if you're willing to spend a few hours doing real research. What I learned is that the people who get the best deals aren't the ones who got lucky. They're the ones who understood the market, understood the timing, understood what they actually needed, and made a decision based on real information rather than marketing pressure or fear of missing out. When I buy that Hisense this week, I won't have any doubt. I'll know exactly what I'm getting. I'll know exactly what I paid compared to every alternative, and I'll know I made a smart decision based on solid research, not because a salesman convinced me or because an ad made me feel like I had to act right now. That's the goal with every video I make here. Not to tell you what to buy, but to walk you through how to think about it so you can make the decision that's right for your situation. So that's everything I found after going deep on TV prices in early 2026. I hope walking through my process gives you the clarity to make a confident decision for yourself. If this video was useful, share it with someone you know who's been going back and forth on a TV purchase. You might save them a few $100s. All the links to check current pricing on every model I mentioned are down in the description. I update them as prices change, so you're always seeing accurate numbers. Subscribe if you want more content like this. Honest, research-backed, No hype, no sponsorships pushing you towards specific products. And drop a comment below. What TV are you leaning towards? Or what questions do you still have after watching this? I read every comment and I'll get back to as many as I can. And if this video genuinely helped you save money on your purchase, the Super Thanks button is right below the video. It's a small way to support the channel, and it means a lot. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.